Hey Legion, it's Shauna here. Well, we are on the cusp of another Valentine's Day, and it got me thinking about Galentine's Day. I love that one. February, we're focusing more on yourself, and so I felt like it was a very important topic to cover. And so this podcast, episode 4, is going to be specific about not just about Valentine's Day, but doing it for yourself and what the self-care looks like. And as we continue to explore that journey as a group of women, I think it's really important, myself included, is when you're single on Valentine's Day, what are some of the things that you can do to treat yourself, to care for yourself, to love yourself the way you would want to be able to present with someone else, so the two of you could take care of each other. And so with all things being equal, I started thinking about, why can't I do it for myself? And I think for the first time in my entire life, I'm going to take myself out to see a movie. Madam Web is playing. Now I coach, so Wednesday is Valentine's Day, and I'm not able to go that night, but that following Thursday, I'm going to take myself out to dinner and a movie. And then it got me thinking even more. All the eyes, all the judgment. I know I'm not alone in this one. I know a lot of women out there feel me on this. When you go out by yourself on the coveted Valentine's Day or that week, people look at you, whether it's they look at you pathetically or they look at you like, oh, poor her. Don't ever think like that, first of all. And so I think that it's really important that we talk about it. And so here we go. So I was thinking about really what to even title this podcast, whether it was Valentine's Vixen or Solo Soldier or Do Epic Shit, Bitch, Own Your Shit, which goes along with my book, The Boss Bitch Handbook, Bitch, Own Your Shit. But then I started thinking about it, and I don't want to poo-poo Valentine's Day. I still very much believe in being able to find a soulmate and be with somebody that you can truly be yourself with. That being said, while you're working on yourself, you're doing the work, you're discovering the journey of who you want to be in that next relationship, regardless of what that looks like, I think it was really a crucial piece in saying, enjoy Valentine's Day, even though it's a very commercialized holiday, and I struggle with that one myself, just no different, honestly, than Christmas. I love Christmas, but at the same time, it's that commercialization piece. I don't want to just buy my friends and family something on one day just so they know how I feel about things with our relationship or how much I love them or care about them. Valentine's Day is no different, but I went to get my hair done today, and Christina, thank you. You did an amazing job. Christina, Bianca, and Bonnie Lake. Look for her information at the end of the podcast. But we were talking, and she had shared with me that when she was single for a few years, she would go treat herself to a facial. And I thought, oh God, what a great idea. And then we started talking about how it was when she went to the facial. And she told me that when she got there, her facialist had a single rose and some chocolates laid out for her. And it was just a wonderful way to celebrate herself, to celebrate the love she had for herself as she was growing and developing in her womanhood, in her journey of who she wanted to become. And that being said, she's now remarried and still goes and see her facialist on Valentine's Day. And I told her I was going to share this story. She's like, I love it. Absolutely do it. But it just made me really realize that there are so many things that we can do for ourselves. If we are single, if you're in a relationship, I say go for it. Spoil the person you're with, and you should be doing it every day, not just on February 14th. But at the end of the day, do what makes you happy, to me, is the takeaway. So when I think about what we can do to self-care, I feel like there are 3 big things. First and foremost, I'm a huge proponent of the self-talk, how we choose to talk to ourselves. Obviously, I oftentimes will talk to both my clients and both my athletes, and I will say, tell me this. The things that you're saying to yourself, would you say to your dearest best friend? And my guess is the answer is going to be, hell no, you wouldn't. You want to support your friends. You want to give them the love and everything that they need to grow in themselves. But yet here we find ourselves really struggling with our own self-talk. So being positive, reinforcing the things that you know that you do well. Nobody's perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Give yourself the grace. But I think the bottom line is that you have to also be able to put yourself first and say, hey, you know what? This is a hard time. I'm struggling with it. I'm going through it. Whatever that looks like, embrace it and feel it. But then you also have to be able to give yourself the positive talk like you would be giving a pep talk to one of your best friends. And I think that's a really key first ingredient. The second thing is I think you really do need to lean into your freedom. If you are solo this Valentine's Day, I think that while you're doing the work, you need to just lean into it and enjoy it. I know there are a lot of friends that are married now, whether they're married or remarried, married the third time, fourth time, good on ya. I love it. I love that they're pursuing their happiness. But they've also said that when they were single, it was one of the times when they look back on and they most enjoyed that piece of who they were and who they were becoming. And it's a lot different and more difficult when you are in a relationship with somebody if you're not coming in whole. And I thought, wow, that's a really great way to look at it. So that number 2, the self-prioritizing, is going to be very big in your journey in where we're going for what you want you to look like, what you want to draw to yourself, what you want to surround yourself with. So how do we self-prioritize? How do we put us first? I would tell you that for the longest time, as far as I can remember, I've always, part of my love for the people that are around me is putting them first. I find a lot of joy and satisfaction in doing that. It has really been a hard fought battle to put me first, whether it's going to get my hair done, maybe a pedicure. I don't do it very often, but it's definitely a treat. I've tried to go to my friend's house at the beach, which is one of my most favorite places. Anywhere at beach, I don't care if it's stormy or sunny. Taking my dogs for a walk, whatever that looks like. Putting the things that are important to me first has really been a process of retraining my brain, my instincts, all of the things, right? Because we always put our family, our kids, our spouses, our significant others, whomever it is, coworkers, our job. We put so many other things first. It really stifles our ability to self-prioritize. So with number 2 being that piece of it, you've got to learn how to do it. It's one step at a time. Do one small thing, and then that one small thing turns into a second thing. And then you realize when you're balancing that, you are so much better as a resource, a support system to everyone else around you when you are caring for you. Number 3. This is another challenge for us as women, and I know it, and do the best that you can with everything that I'm sharing because I just want you to be the best you possible. And that being said, you only compete with the best you. The you want to be, the you are now. You're not competing with other women. Lives, circumstances, opportunities, education. There's so many different variables that make us all so unique in our own way and our own right. Life experience, that's a big one. I can tell you I have some amazing friends and we have vastly different backgrounds, but we are there supporting and cheering each other on every opportunity we get. That being said, you have to remember, you can't look at your friends' lives or a family member or a sister or a sibling or anyone else and say, wow, they're here in their life. Why am I not there or surpassing them? I know that's a really hard one, but you've got to trust me that for that self-love and that self-care and for you to prioritize yourself, you've got to get that third one down, which is that key component of knowing you only are competing with your own best self. And the best part is with the 80-20 matters meter, remember that one way back from podcast 1? You're making 80% really, really matter. And you're really learning to wash the 20%, the things that is just life. Things are going to come up. You're going to have challenges and hurdles and obstacles. It's how you approach those are really going to matter. And again, the 80% is what matters. If you're striving for 1% better every day, you will get there in no time. I promise. Just keep forging ahead, keep striving, and do the hard work. It will pay off. Okay, so back to the Valentine's Day. Whether you see it as a cloud or you see it as the silver lining, or it's just a great day for you to take the time to celebrate you. So I had mentioned earlier, whether it's go get a facial, whether it's just slow down a little bit, I would say make a list of some of the things you've been wanting to do for you. Heck, it might even be go back to school. It might be even enroll in college. It might be finish something that you started, whether it's a project. Maybe it's a business you want to start. Maybe it's something that you want to do that you haven't done before, a trip you want to take. Start planning. And if a trip is going to take savings and it's going to be something down the road, but figure out what that looks like. But I feel like having a game plan, that's where I'm going to go back to always being a little bit strategic, a little routine, but also having goals. Goal setting is really important. And for me, I will say, I know a lot of people do it at the New Year's time. Again, remember we talked about not having New Year's resolutions because you never stick with them, but goal setting. For me, it's around this time of year. I kind of reassess what that looks like, what I want it to look like, and what I'm going to do to make it happen. And there's a lot of things that go into play with that. But you, the beautiful part is, get to dictate that. You drive that. That's all about what you want it to look like, how it feels to you. So make that list. Start kind of figuring out what that looks like. Prioritize some of the things that you want to do. Prioritize the people in your life. I have a kiddo in college and I want to see her more regularly, and she's in a whole nother state. So I got to start planning and what that's going to look like. And I'm excited about that. My other one competes in a lot of volleyball tournaments that are out of state. Same exact thing. You got to plan, you got to prioritize, but you've got to work towards the things that you want. They're not just going to fall in your lap. You got to roll up your sleeves and you've got to do the work. Remember that. And I know you can. I believe in you. I have a saying I like to use: believe in yourself the way I believe in you. So with all the Valentine's hoopla, again, roses, what are they, like 3 times what they normally cost? I'm telling you, the commercialization piece, I'm not going to lie, always pisses me off, because I feel like, really, they're the same roses, they're the same flowers, it's the same box of chocolates, it's the same dinner you're going to go out to, but boy, do they get you coming and going when it's a specific holiday. And so maybe plant a garden, start your seedlings. That's something I always like to do in preparation for the spring to get my garden going. So flowers that you want to have. I love flowers. I absolutely love them, but I love to grow them. I love to pull them in the spring and the summertime when they're blooming. And that's a really big deal for a lot of people, that if you're wanting to do that, buzzword of self-sustainable and being able to do the things that you want to do. So maybe buy somebody a plant, buy your best girlfriend, your best guy friend, whoever. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is not a sexually driven topic by any stretch of the imagination. Celebrate the people that are important in your life. Send off care packages. Do the things that you just want to remind people, yes, they're important to you, but don't forget to do this year round. Valentine's Day is a great reminder. Now, given in 1929, there was also a Valentine's Day massacre that I know a lot of people oftentimes overlook. But I think we've been celebrating Valentine's. I looked at some of the research and it says into the 1800s. So the celebration of love, and I believe self-love is the biggest part of that, because you can't be a part of someone else with a relationship if you're not whole with yourself. And trust me, I know it is so painful and it is so hard sometimes, especially when you've imagined your life to look a different way. But treat Valentine's Day as an opportunity to reflect, and I promise you'll gain a ton of clarity in the process. So whether you're choosing to be that solo soldier and go out to dinner and go throw caution to the wind, take yourself for a walk down on the waterfront, go to the beach, put your feet in the sand, whatever that's going to look like, or you be your own Valentine's vixen, or get a group of friends. The Galentine's Day, I will say, is genius. The February, make it about you, reset your goals, challenge yourself to say, okay, what is it going to look like for me, whether it's personal, whether it's professional. Make some different things happen for yourself, and a big part of that is that planning piece. But Valentine's Day can be whatever you choose to make it. And I really, really hope that you love yourself and you continue to find new ways to love you. See yourself the way I know all of your friends and family probably see you. Puff your chest up, have some confidence, get out there, and please make sure you're doing what makes you happy, and you will never go wrong. All right, Legion, that's it for episode 4. Do me a favor, subscribe down below and go check out my book on Amazon. Bitch, Own Your Shit. It's the Boss Bitch Handbook. It's volume 1. The second one's coming out in the next couple of months. So thanks for being with me today. Have an awesome week.